Hey everybody, how's it going? What's up? What's new? What's exciting? What's old? What's boring? I don't know. Get it? Old and boring? Me. I don't know. So, we need to talk about Discovery Season 5, Episode 4. And this one is Face the Strange. Which I think, personally, is a great episode. Do you disagree? I don't know. Do you? Because if you do, you could be wrong. It's pretty good for a number of different reasons. So I'd like to say, or tell you guys, to tune into and check out our live tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, our complete review and breakdown of this episode. And also in the afternoon, we have an edited version of our review, so check that out as well. But yeah, let's talk about it. Time travel into the different parts of Star Trek Discovery. I thought this episode was great. I love the chronophage time bug. I think that was great. Okay, lay down. There you go. And Michael Burnham versus Michael Burnham. It's funny because when we watched this with me and Sylvia said, wow, she was really self-righteous back then, wasn't she? I'm like, oh yeah. This was old Michael Burnham versus new Michael Burnham, and I thought it was fantastic. No, they did it very well, I think. There's a lot there to love. I thought they were going to do a tie-in with Calypso. For a minute, I was like, oh, are they doing this? They're doing it. Okay, cool. No, not quite. We didn't quite get there. But I don't know. I thought Rainier was fantastic. Stamets was also great in this one. I love how he says I was a little bit more ornery pre-tardigrade DNA. Speaking to his season 1 character. Beautiful. Mention of Lorca, awesome. I would have loved to have Jason Isaacs come back and reprise the role, even for a brief cameo or even a voiceover. Would have been awesome. But, oh, I just realized that the power had gone out. So this is not on. We can't have that. That's got to be on. It's a thing that just has to be there. So yeah, this was a fun episode, and the season is shaping out to be pretty good. I mean, the next episode is called Mirrors. It's going to be the Mirror Universe episode. Spoilers for anybody that didn't know. But I thought there'd be more Maul and Locke in this one. Not so much, but that's fine because it went really well. I loved the character arc. I loved the Rainier kind of saying, your familiarity with the crew causes problems at the beginning, and at the end being like, well, the familiarity, I see what you did there. I get it now. No, it was really good. It was fun. And I wish we could have seen a few more exterior shots of Discovery during this one, but it does what it's supposed to do. It's the best bottle type show that there is. So even using old props, which is awesome. Let's see what you guys are saying. What a great episode. Love me a time jumping story. And what was that somehow of a Calypso tie-in? Love how Rainier finally was able to integrate himself into the crew. Yeah, it almost felt like a Calypso tie-in, but not quite. So Dan Robertson. The fact that this episode ends up running in the final season is kind of an insane coincidence. It's the perfect kind of way to look back on the journey. Yes, and the character development of Michael Burnham. Chris really enjoyed this episode. Mind you, the journey we look back on wasn't exactly great. No, but it got better. Tab Extra, I think this is the best episode of Discovery. It's definitely up there, yes. Joseph Barbado, it might be one of the best Discovery episodes. Trekyard is here. Hey, Trekyard. They really just wanted to get everyone back in those uniforms again, I bet. Yeah. Marco, I was thinking the same thing. I don't think I ever enjoyed an episode of Discovery like this one. Felt like a proper classic Trek episode. 100% yes. 100% yes. Yeah. Let's see. This was really good. Enjoyed the episode. Yes, the Atom 159. Ozzy, Shuttle Bay door closed. Next week's episode looks Mirror Universe. Yes, to both those things. Project Achieva. Okay, but why was Discovery constructed on the ground in San Francisco? Don't get me started on that. It was probably just a segment of the ship before it got taken up to final assembly in Earth orbit. It's fine. San Francisco Fleet Yards. They just took it literally. It's fine. Marco, that might be one of my nitpicks about the episode. Why is Dry Dock not in space, but in San Francisco? Why isn't Discovery being built in orbit? That felt like a bit of an Enterprise being built in Iowa in JJ. That's exactly what it was like, yes. Shea Locomotive Productions, I really enjoyed this episode. Yes, I did as well. Travels with Sai. I'm actually on U.S. time for a change. Great to see you, sir. Olivia, $2. So meant missed opportunities. Like so many missed opportunities. Travels with Sai. I enjoyed this episode. Lots. Great scene. Arium again. Yeah, but they tried to make the Arium thing like more impactful than I remember it being. We never got to really know Arium except for that one episode where then she died. So it's kind of disingenuous in a way. But I get what they're trying to do, and it worked well. I think it was great seeing Arium and just seeing all the season 1 stuff again. Honestly, there was a lot there that could have used more time to breathe a bit, but honestly, I think it went really well. I really did enjoy this one. So, season 1 Burnham versus season 5 Burnham. Neil Hammersmith, Hail Kaon. Hail Kaon. It's Kirk versus Kirk. Serge says, awesome episode. I loved it. Time travel is awesome. But yeah, missed opportunity to have Jason Isaacs play Lorca again. Yeah, even when they warp away with the ship, because he was on an away mission with Saru, for the ship to warp away and just have a voiceover, him saying, what the hell are you doing with my ship? Something like that would have been awesome. Just a small thing. But Jason is expensive. Oh, yes. Olivia, Discovery was built on Earth. Your thoughts? I've talked about this many times. Ships are not built on Earth or on a planetary surface. Even though Utopia Planitia, you do see Galaxy-class saucer sections on the surface. That being said, it's Mars. And I'd have no problem with ship components being built on Earth and then taken up to orbit for final assembly. This has been talked about many times. JJ Film's a perfect example of fucking field in Iowa for some reason. Stupid. There is a novel as well, Flag Full of Stars, I believe, and it talks about the refit of the Enterprise and how the saucer section was actually planet side and then flew up to get final assembly docking in. It's fine. It's fine. I know a lot of people are going to be sticky about that. I didn't focus too much on it on in our review. I did mention it that I thought was a little bit, but it's a great visual seeing the Golden Gate Bridge outside like that. So it's acceptable. Shay says, best episode of the season for me so far. Yes. Terrence Childs, I don't like the look of the starship at all. Will Donnie give it a 10 out of 10? I don't know. Travels with Sai. If it was built in Dubai, it would have been wet dock. That's funny. Trek or not, the ship could be built or on an orbital lifter. There's that as well. Sure. Serge says it's kind of like Voyager episode Relativity, where 7 of 9 travels through Voyager's past. Yes, but that was done much better. Like they really took more time for that one. Pardon the pun. I did like seeing the old Burnham and the new Burnham together, that was a very well done scene. Love the hair, love the wigs. That was phenomenally done. So you gotta give them, credit for what they do right. So Sean O'Sullivan, Changeling Test. What is the episode of TNG where a holodeck malfunction makes all the characters Brent Spiner? Fistful of Datas. Kyle Swinderman, need to catch up on Disco, and you're convincing me to, Cap. There you go. Olam Drab, hey, Trek people, I still haven't seen the episode. Well, what are you doing here then? Spoilers ahead. Speaking of, by the way, guys, we have 48 people here, which is awesome. 20 likes. Hit that like button. Let's get those likes up to 50. I think we can do that. No problem. Give me a like. I mean, it doesn't look like this, the button. It looks like this, but it's the same as this. It's like, okay. So yes, hit the button. Give me a like. I'd appreciate it. So, Olivia, thank goodness it was built on Earth and not in space, or else that scene would have been a lot different. Yes. I did like the worker, though. I didn't think the inspection was today. And Burnham's like, surprise! I'll go tell my foreman on decks. Go tell my foreman. Just, can you do check deck 7 last? We're going to check that first. What is it? Fail to prepare to fail. Yeah, that's the saying. That was great, actually. I like that a lot. But Melanie, Jean Mayfield, didn't Janeway also meet herself from the future on Voyager? Yes. Ozzy says, meet me Red's shaken not. Meet me Red's shaken not. Trek or not, the Burnham book scene was good. It was, but you got 4.5 minutes. Get rid of your female boner for a minute and get out of there. That scene kind of bothered me a little bit because he comes in and he's like, hey, if you would have told me you were here, I would have picked up a Ractigino on my way back from the gym. What? Did you walk past the Starbucks or a Tim Hortons? Where the fuck are you going to pick up a Ractigino? You have a replicator in your quarters. You can replicate anything you want because that's after the refit of the ship. I would have picked you up a Ractigino. That's common vernacular, like modern vernacular being used in that context. I thought it was kind of funny, but at the same time not. It was just kind of an odd choice. It's a small thing. It's a small thing. I don't know if anybody else was bothered by it. I wasn't bothered by it. It was a standout to me. So Terrence Childs, this episode was okay. It could have been better. It feels like it was rust. I mean, it could have been better. They could have added a few things to it, but honestly, it has been, in my opinion, the best of this season. So keep going like this, guys, please. That'd be awesome. Melanie says, 7th Rule just ended. I was in both chat rooms off and on trying to crush the time bug. Well, good to see you, Melanie. Shay says, I feel bad that this could be their best season and last. Yeah, and I said that going into this, like months ago. I was saying it's going to be a shame because this season's probably going to be really good and it's their last one. And that kind of makes me sad in a way because now is when the good stuff's happening and they should have been like this all along, but sadly not. So Olam Drab, I haven't watched Captain because my eyes kind of hurt, so I decided to be here. Well, thank you for being here, and I'm sorry that your eyes hurt, but thank you for being here. Serge says, how funny was Stamets saying it's kind of concerning my crew doesn't know a spore breaches and a thing. That was hilarious. And I also really liked the line of, it was more surly back then, tardigrade DNA. I love that because I love season 1 Stamets, that kind of ornery asshole. I miss that Stamets. And I love that they acknowledge that with, I am in a really irritated mood, like really bad. Get out of here. Oh, that cleared this out faster than your spore breach routine. I love that. That made me laugh because I love Stamets as a character, but the last few seasons not so much. Season 1 Stamets, 100% love that character. So that was great to see. That was funny. Ozzy says told meet at Red's buy me drink. Yes, Jet Reno. Mark Lawrence. It was season 7 episodes. It was season 7 episode Shattered. Yes. Of Voyager, just so you know. Wayne says, I really enjoyed this episode. I did as well. Trek or not, I think Book said it as a joke, not literal, but could be wrong. Sure. I don't think he said it as a joke, though, if you go back and rewatch that scene. Thirst Contact, sorry, just got here. What stood out again? Lots of things. But I think what you're talking about or asking about was when Book came in and said, hey, if I knew you were here, I would have grabbed a Ractagino from the gym. I'm like, okay, well, that's like so common, like modern day vernacular. Like, I would have grabbed you a coffee on the way home from the gym. Like, I made the joke saying, like, did you stop at did you pass a Starbucks or a Tim Hortons on your way to your quarters? You have a replicator. You can replicate a Ractagino anytime. It's not a big deal. It's just the Atom 159. My only disappointment was when Lorca was mentioned. It didn't appear. Yes, same. Zachary Gibbons. I thought it was a decent episode, but Stamets looked at the bug a whole minute and watched it crawl away. Could have swatted it at it, and probably would have got shocked, like and killed or something. Who knows? Matt Boardman is here. The board, the man, the Matt. Yeah, they've finally figured out how to tell a Star Trek story. Yes, they have. Burnham versus Burnham, yep. Sean O'Sullivan agreed on the best of the season. Wonder if Deck 7 will come back again. Nice shout out to the Krenim. Wish Kurtwood comes back to fight Burnham and says, can you fly, Michael? Oh, that's good. That's a RoboCop reference. That's good. I like that. Clarence Boddicker. That's fine. We just watched RoboCop not that long ago. Tom Nardi says, I do feel bad. It seems they're finally for I do feel bad. They seem they are finally finding their footing in final season. That's almost a tongue twister, my dude. Finally finding their footing in final season. Like 5 firefighting fireflies fought fires fiercely in the fall for Fred Flintstone. Blah, blah, blah. Anyway. But it's not like they didn't have plenty of opportunities to listen to fans earlier. Yeah. Trek or not, should have called the episode Burnham Squared. Yeah. Ozzy says, hi, Matt. Smart Smears, best episode of the show, in my opinion. It was great. Yes. Sean O'Sullivan, disappointing they didn't go de-age Mary Wiseman or something. Season 1 Tilly was silly for Tilly time. Yeah, she actually looked pretty good. Like with the hair pulled back, it's like, all right, you did a pretty good job with the Tilly callback. But yes, definitely hashtag silly for Tilly. Definitely. It definitely silly for Tilly. Definitely. Mr. Captain 93, good episode. Reminded me of the Voyager episode with 7 jumping around time. Yeah, 100%. Dustin D, maybe Disney will pay to make Discovery season 6 and 7 and 8. No, I seriously doubt that. Libby said, we got to see the Queen. Oh, yes, we did. Whoop-de-doo. Grudge was on the bed. Woohoo! That was the highlight of the episode for me. Oif. Miss Captain 93, would have been nice for a Pike or Lorca cameo. Yes. Olam Drab, Jet Reno has like displaced O'Brien as fix-it person. I most resemble in some ways. I guess except O'Brien is like, okay, I'll do more spy stuff, I guess. A lot. Yeah. And every time, and like I said, tune in for our live tomorrow, but also tune in to our edited review. Every time Jet Reno's on screen, I love it. I think she's fantastic. I love her deadpan delivery. Every time Sam talks about her, it's like her attitude didn't match the situation. And I'm like, that's the point. She's always just flat. She's got that deadpan delivery. He's like, no, it didn't work. She wasn't acting. She was just like, and I'm like, that's the point. So if you hear him say that about Jet Reno, just know I've tried. I've tried many times to explain to him that that's just her character. Situation be damned. Anyway. How did you feel about Serenarium again? Didn't do, like I said earlier in this live, they're trying to make it a more important thing than it was, because we only really got to know Arium in that last episode that she was in before that episode was focused on her. They're trying to make it such a big deal that we lost Arium, and I didn't care. I did not give a flying woohoo about it. I don't know if it's the first actress to play Arium, which also played Lieutenant, what's her name, after Arium died, who's now transferred to the Voyager J. I don't think it was her actress. I think it was the second actress to portray Arium in that episode where she actually passed away. But I didn't care. I never resonated with Arium. I never really got to know Arium. It just didn't. It didn't matter to me at all. So if it mattered to you, I'm glad. But 63 people here, 34 likes, guys. Come on, hit that like button. Nielsen, that's it. Thank you. Yeah, so the girl that played Lieutenant Nielsen, she played Arium for the first bit, and then somebody else played Arium, and then we had Nielsen on board. And now Nielsen has been transferred to the Voyager J. So, but I didn't care. It meant nothing really. But they tried to make it more than it was. But lest they don't show the big turbo lift shaft. Yeah. Thirst contact. Can you fly, Bobby? Sean O'Sullivan. No one wants more disco, but hopefully, if Prodigy does well, we get more power decks. Power decks. Dun, 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 dun. It sounds like an '80s hair metal band. Power decks. Nightlock, 1989. Thoughts on the Breen seemingly being one of the villains? They've mentioned the Breen a few times this season already, and I think it's fucking hilarious, because the only time that Starfleet actually got attacked and kind of decimated was in Deep Space Nine by the fucking Breen. They attacked Earth. They attacked Starfleet headquarters. I thought that was hilarious that they did it again 900 years later. The Breen just don't like Starfleet. I thought it was great. I thought it was great. I did hate when she said, "Is that a Breen ship?" And it's like, where? Like, show me the wreckage. Yes, we can see shit floating outside, but I want to see this Breen ship. Anyway, Smart Smears. This was Disco's crisis point. Only instead of fighting herself to look at her future potential, Burnham fights herself to see how far she's come. It's more about Rainier's potential. Yeah, 100%. And I loved the squaring off of season 1 Burnham versus the new Burnham, because, like I said, Sylvia, when she watched it with me, she's like, holy shit, she was self-righteous in season 1, wasn't she? And it's like, yeah, badly written character. I think they did a great job with it, though. And I love that it's like new Discovery versus old Discovery, like playing out. That was fun. That was fun. Oh, Drab. Also, Reno would probably say it like that. So I got to do more spy stuff. Okay. Cosmo. Well, Sony has a bid on Paramount. Interesting. Zachary Gibbons, Burnham can take out Burnham with a Vulcan nerve pinch. Trekyard, there was an issue, though, with the ship's speed being related to their time jump, since in the San Francisco jump, the ship wasn't moving and probably had no engines yet. But the other times it was moving, so it's all relative, as they say. It does still influence things. Sometimes standing still, sometimes moving impulse, sometimes going at warp. It wasn't a problem. Sean O'Sullivan, does Foley find he struggles to follow funnily formed phrases of unfounded form? Now I can do tongue twisters with F's pretty well. Like Foley find he struggles to follow funnily formed phrases of unfounded form. I can say F1's pretty well. Other, not so much. Sergeant Montgomery says, what a great episode. Reno's temporal joke had me rolling. Are you stuck in a time loop, Stamets? Olam Jab, well, yeah, the more serious it gets. Cosmo says, Sam probably skips Jet Reno scenes. Yeah. The Atom 159. I got excited thinking they were finally tying up Calypso, but it didn't quite match up the information presented in Calypso. No, because Calypso was about 70 years from where they are. So yeah, when they got on the ship and I heard the music, I'm like, yes, a fucking Calypso tie-in. Thank God. 30 years later, it's like, okay. So the ship still could go on to do the Calypso thing. But yes, I expected her to walk on the bridge and see the hologram dancing with the guy. That would have been cool. I would have loved to have had a Calypso tie-in. 100%. So I was excited for that too for a minute. Australia is not real. Just ask a flat earther. Puts in $5 Australian. I haven't got my weekly dose of Star Trek Discovery yet. I'm looking forward to hate watching it. Okay. By the way, I have a really interesting theory about how this season might play out, which I'm going to tell you guys at the end of this live. Mr. Captain 93, Jet is an unsung hero of Discovery, yes. Sean O'Sullivan, not sure how Sambo is missing dry wit. That style of humor is very common in the UK. Olam Drab, also, it would have been interesting to find out the Arium lady was interesting before she was gone. Yes, 100%. Smart Smears, I say this as someone who enjoys Discovery. Jet Reno almost deserves better than being on Discovery, because not enough people will appreciate her performance. Agreed. I think she's fantastic. The Atom says it was the secondary. They mentioned Nielsen transferring to Voyager J off screen. I guess Sarah Mitch is no longer a part of the show. Yeah. And to bring Bryce back was awesome. It was great to see Bryce. I like that guy. Mr. Captain 93, after kissing Book should have had Burnham go back and see Ash. That would be interesting. Yes. Would have been great to bring Ash Tyler back for one of these flashbacks as well. Olam Drab, oh wow, random Lobot lady was interesting. Oh, no more Lobot lady. Zachary Gibbons, I'm glad they did not show the Turbo Lift Bill and Ted's Adventures phone booth version. That's exactly what it's like. That's good. That's good. I gotta change this to all messages. There we go. Surge, I didn't realize Ariam was the ship's second officer back in season. No, nobody did. Nobody knew who anybody was. Sean O'Sullivan, I want the Crenham time ship to come in and Kurtwood to put his foot up Disco's ass, 70s show style. Trekyardians, meta joke, Burnham. Olam Drab, I'd be so cheesed at the Breen. Okay, dudes, you're obviously smarter than us. What's your freaking damage at this point? Melanie, excellent development for Burnham, the Burn, and all the other characters. I could see the changes. Oh yeah, absolutely. Ozzy, let's do the time warp again. Sean O'Sullivan, €2. Can you fly, Foley? Stuart likes Babylon 5. Terrence Childs, there were so many opportunities for them to use the ablation armor shielding that Voyager brought back with them. Why don't they ever use that armor? Don't know. Matt Boardman, I thought they were two with Calypso and maybe a little retcon of the Disco A, but alas, yeah, it was like uplifting, and then it's like, oh, you kind of dropped the ball, but I can still respect what you did. It's one of those moments. Smart Smears. I like the Breen stuff because it finally feels like we're getting to know the dynamics of the era we're in. Between the fall of the Emerald Chain and the Breen, I can see where things are lore-wise. Yes. Please mention the Klingons. Where have the Klingons gone? Zachary Gibbons, the warp bubble thing, I didn't love. It just looked like they were dropping out of warp. I think they were trying to throw something in to extend the episode and pay off. Didn't wow me. I get that. I can understand why you'd say that. Sergeant Montgomery says, "Is Locke a Breen? I'm hoping he is the weird face morph episode 1 and suspect." Oh, that would be awesome. Finally see what the Breen look like, and they kind of can look whatever they want. It's just yes, because in episode 1 he took his helmet off and it was like this, and it kind of solidified and formed. That would be really interesting. You might be onto something with that, actually. I like that. I like that a lot. Smart Smears. No, I read that one. Sorry. Where are we here? Sean O'Sullivan. There's some speculation on Twitter that the protagonist dude is a Breen, seeing as we don't know what they look like. I'd be fine with that, 100%. Dustin D. Is Starfleet going to give TPGP TP war with the Breen? Is Starfleet going to go to war with the Breen? I don't know. Smart Smears, I think the implication is Calypso is in the future of this bad future. Yes, but the Discovery is still a refit at that point. So, and in Calypso, it was not a refitted Discovery. It was the original Discovery. So, Jet loves black licorice. I mean, licorice? Licorice. Smart Smear. Speaking of Bryce, I think we're at the point where we can appreciate Reese as a character. He's a Constitution man. Good taste. He likes the curves. But what curves are we talking about? The original TOS Enterprise or the Strange New Worlds one? This is beautiful. Vince's Variety Channel. I love the first 2 episodes this season. Liked the last 2, but felt that they were filler compared to the first 2. Really. Zachary Gibbons. So we found out that Discovery was built on Earth like the JJ Prize and not in space. Yes, I've already addressed this. Tristan says the Breen has already been mentioned in previous episodes. Yes, they are around in the 32nd century post-burn. Next. Fearless Wolf throws in £5. Thank you so much for the super chat. Didn't they say the Breen were... Didn't they say the Breen was fuzzy in DS9 when Dax next the Breen uniform? Probably, yeah. Olam Drab. I think the short is something not likely to be addressed. Also, yes, licorice. Yes. No, they've already said that they're not going to address that short. That was the best of the shorts, and they've already stated that they're not going to try tying into it. So, but they've lied to us before. So I would love for them to finish off with some kind of Calypso tie-in. But alas, who knows? Trekyards says, to be fair, Locke's ship could be a Breen ship. Could be. Tristan Mendoza, and the Breen need atmosphere suits. Nobody is a cloaked Breen. Pug snores are so cute. I mean, sure. Mr. Captain A3, do you think the 6-hour gap will come up again as a major plot point later? I would like it to, but knowing this writing team, no, I don't think it will. Zachary Gibbons, I like Stamets having trouble trying not to confuse 23rd and 32nd century technology. That was a solid. Tristan says, it's cold on the Breen home planet. They can't breathe our atmosphere. Sean O'Sullivan, do you think a time loop is a good literary device? Yes, I absolutely love time loop stories. Australia is not real, just ask a flat earther. Says, I'm still waiting for Doctor Who, all the stormtroopers to turn up. Olam Drab, the Breen are not known for telling the truth. Trekyardians said, to be fair, the suits could be a ruse. Didn't someone also say the Breen homeworld was warm? Not that I recall. I do recall being stated that it was cold, but I don't know. Tristan, so of course I would want a furry suit as a Breen. Olam Drab is in DS9. Mayun said, I've been to the Breen homeworld. It's fine. Yes. All right. Now I want to throw you guys an interesting theory that I came up with the other day. That's how do I set this up? Okay. So in episode 1, Stamets was upset with being a scientific luminary. The spore drive was not going to be implemented fleet-wide. So his lifelong endeavors are going to go for naught. It was classified in his time. No one's ever looked into it. And in the future, it's not being implemented ship-wide because he can't solve the navigator problem. So he's upset. I think that's going to be a big part of this episode, or this season. Because in the last episode, he got super excited about the Progenitor tech. And Tilly's like, I haven't seen him that excited in months. Why would you do that? Why would you shoot him down? Because he needs to be passionate about something. So here's my theory. The progenitors seeded the entire galaxy, known galaxy at least, with humanoid life forms, right? Multiple humanoid life forms. Different systems, different quadrants, different planets. One would assume around the same time-ish. Now, the mycelial network that they use for spore drive is, as it has been stated, is galaxy-wide, possibly universe-wide. It also connects all points. It also connects all times. Could it be possible that the progenitors used the mycelial network to seed our galaxy with life? And so you could do it all at once. Boom, boom, boom. Just saying. Stamets is going to find out about this. It's going to, once they find the progenitor tech, it's going to link to the mycelial network. And Stamets is going to be the only one that knows how that works. And he's going to be able to use it for good or for bad, whatever. I don't know how it's going to play out. But I just have a feeling that the progenitors use the mycelial network to actually see the entire galaxy all at the same time. Or the entire universe, multiple galaxies, I don't know. But it just makes sense because they've already stated that the mycelial network is interlaced. It connects all points. That's why it's instantaneous travel. And what if it's like super dangerous? So after they find that the progenitor tech has in fact used the mycelial network, what if Discovery or Stamets? Because the interesting thing is that even though the spore drive was created by Stamets and his partner that was on the USS Glenn, who died, no one else in the known universe, the known galaxy, has ever thought of using the mycelial network to travel instantly anywhere. Maybe it's because 32nd century Stamets, after they find the progenitor tech, decides it's too dangerous and shuts down the mycelial network, so it's not feasible as a form of travel. Therefore, with the records sealed in their time, they close off the mycelial network for everyone, so that anyone from TOS onward, because again, time's irrelevant with the mycelial network, anyone from TOS onward would not be able to access the mycelial system for travel. That's why nobody's ever looked into it. Nobody's ever had the bright idea, oh, this is mycelial network, which actually is a thing in real life that links all points in time and space. Why can't we use that for travel? For some reason, they can't. They never consider it even being a possibility that it can be used for travel, because at the end of this season, they shut it down. Now you're going to say, well, that doesn't make any sense. Discovery's used it in the past and they've used it now, but it's sci-fi. Anything is possible. They've already used it to this point. So if they decide to negate it from this point all throughout time, it doesn't matter because they've already used it. You can have a multitude of different ideas or reasons that they can't, that they could use it, but no one else has ever been able to or ever considered the possibility of doing it. Because in season 1 or season 2, whenever, we talked about it a lot when it first came out, obviously. And it never made sense to any of us why no other alien species, no other generation after TOS considered using the mycelial network for travel. Maybe the answer is this season. And it makes sense that the progenitors, who seeded the entire galaxy with life, humanoid life, would use such a system to do it all at the same time on a galaxy-wide scale. That's my theory. I'm putting it out there now before any link to the mycelial network becomes a thing in Discovery. Are the writers of Discovery clever enough to think of that? I have my doubts. But the other day, I was just driving in the car and it just hit me. His scientific luminary designation, him being unhappy with that, upset that he's not going to leave a lasting mark, because when they found the Soong android, he said, and his name is still spoken centuries later. What a legacy. He's upset that his work was classified in his time. Nobody's ever going to know about it, and it didn't go anywhere in the future. I think it's great. And it's going to be, Paul is the only one that can use the progenitor tech or understand it well enough. Anyway, I've dribbled on long enough about it. There you go. I'm putting that out there officially on the record today so that if it does come up, I can say, I told you so. Look, Terran Empire. Anyway. Sean O'Sullivan keeps asking the same question as a joke about the time loop. I caught on to it for the first one. That's why I never said it again. Just want to put that out there so you don't think I'm daft. Wei Yun, of course, may lie, but hey. Paul Hitchcock, I want to see some 32nd century Klingons before the show ends. Oh, you're not going to. Well, you might. I doubt it, though. So I just gotta open the window a tad. It's a little bit warm in here. Olam Jab, it makes sense, Captain. It could work. Trek or not, in the alt future, the brain used it, though. Example, if they failed to fix the time jump thing. Sure. Zachary Gibbons, spore drive leak. I'm getting out of here before I get attacked by mushrooms. Honestly, I'm heading out. Once again, I thought it was a good episode. See you later, Zachary. Thank you for stopping by. And yes, I agree with you. I thought it was a good episode as well. Mr. Captain 93, Stamets has a scene where he sees Q talking to Picard about the goop that becomes life on Earth. Then he drops off the life seed. There you go. Sergeant Montgomery, that's a good theory, Captain. I like it. Plus, the reveal that Stamets is immune to changes in the timeline due to his tardigrade DNA. Well, that was from the episode Magic to Make the Sainth Man Go Mad, which is the Harry Mudd episode where he kills Lorca a bunch of times. Fun episode, but... Australia is not real, just ask a flat earther. Says, so if his future self made it so his past self could use the network. Perfect. Sean O'Sullivan, that's some Doctor Who relativity you're using there. The Doctor has his own linear timeline, which is independent of regular linear time. And it's a solid theory. Thank you guys. I appreciate that. Olam Drab, I think it's entirely in character for the Federation to want to make friends. Mycelial people say no. Federation says, oh, well, okay. Vince says, I'd be upset as well as far as Stamets goes. Yes, I totally agree with that and his frustration with the situation. Mr. Captain 93 says that theory works for me. Just when you tell anybody else, just say you heard it here first. And not from Trekyards, from Captain Foley. Sam doesn't agree with, that's neither here nor there. I just want to put that out there. Polishcock, maybe Stamets could make an alteration to the Mycelial network so that it was accessible in the past when the Discovery and Glenn used it, but at every other point it's locked. Yeah. Donnie says, Nerd Fights X-Trek Raid. Hello, Cap and all. Hope everyone is well this evening. Well, say hi to Nerd Fights for us. Dustin D. Dr. Colbert is a Maru, puff mycelial person. Okay. Tristan says, I was one of the first people that talked about McKenna and the cytosine at the first airing of Discovery on Trekyards and other networks on YouTube. Nobody answered me, and it was too far out for you guys. No, because I've actually seen the real Paul Stamets on the Joe Rogan show talking about the actual mycelial network and connection thing. So, but yes, a lot of people find it insane. Titan says, episode 1 was great. 2 and 4 rather boring, and 4 was meh. Overall, I'm really rather meh on the season so far, which is a bummer since it's the last season, but I'm hoping it will get better. Hey, it's not for everybody. I thought this episode was good. It was great. I thought it was great, actually, for Discovery. They're actually Star Trekking in their Star Trek now, so that's good. Gotta give them kudos. Sergeant Montgomery, time bug. I'm not sure if that equals genius or laziness, but it sure played out very well in the episode. Yeah, in fact, it looked like a spider as well. It should have been some other kind of creature, but that's okay. Dustin D, maybe the Mycelial network was used in Star Wars to jump humans into a faraway galaxy. Perfect. Vince says, we had tornado, wind, and rain weather here today. Hot out, then super chilly. Ugh. Yeah, it is. It was kind of a, not cold, but cool, dreary day here today. Mr. Captain 93, random thought. We must be getting close to campfire lives. Yeah. Trek or not, I wonder what form the tech will be. Maybe an entire planet or an object or a base or a ship. Was that the ashes of the crew on Future Disco? It destroyed Starfleet. That's awful. That's really fucking awful. It's gross. She touched the back of the chair. And, where'd you come up with this shit, Trek or not? What's wrong with you? Olam says, I imagine Stamets would, just ask. Vince says, was cool getting a mention of the Krenum. Yes, 100% was. Sorry, my pug is snoring. Paul Hitchcock, this season has been really good, at least to me, who checked out halfway through Disco Season 3. There you go. Trek or not, what if the tech turns people's tech against them? Kind of like the device in Prodigy, the alien artifact thing. Olam Drab. I mean, Stamets is a guy who sacrificed himself for the sake of the giant tardigrade. I think he's true blue about Starfleet ideals. Yeah, and it could be maybe he has to sacrifice himself to make it so that he is in the Mycelial network and make sure that it doesn't get misused for anything. I could see that being a thing as well, him actually sacrificing himself at the end. Cybacillin, yes. I called it Silly Besibin? Okay, sure. I don't remember. Whatever. Anyway. Peter says, just jumping in. Welcome, Peter. You mentioned mushrooms and stuff the night it aired. Your interview with Stamets actor was obviously later, and you don't even know how to say cybacillin. I said it the day of the episode. Okay, that's wonderful. You called it Ciliobicibicin. Sure I did. Do you think Carl will make a cameo? No, I don't. Paul Hitchcock. Residue of the crew on the chair would make sense, given Burnham's reaction after she picks at it. It's Captain 93. Is there any fan service that you would like to get this season? Something like the Enterprise 1701P or Captain Suzu the 5th or something else from Trek Past. Anything as long as it's good. I wouldn't mind seeing another Enterprise. It's not a necessity for me, but even just getting a reference to which Enterprise it is, which letter it is in the wide Enterprise family would be interesting, but I don't need anything necessarily. Honestly, I wish they would just fix the fucking timeline and just say that Discovery never happened. They have to go back, and they're not going to do that, but it's fine. I don't know what I would want, honestly. Paul Stamets had the Commander Cerebro Science today. Sean O'Sullivan, you see the news about the original Connie model? Yes, I did. Yes, psychedelic mushrooms, yep. Matt Boardman. Yeah. Paul Hitchcock. I'm calling it. Disco Season 5 ends with Sisko appearing at Starfleet HQ, looking around and saying, maybe yesterday, my ass. That'd be funny. Trek or not, Rainier will sacrifice himself. He also saw Burnham enter her access code into his holographic projection. Maybe something in that. I could see him using that, yes. Your excuse a minute ago, you talked about the Stamets actor. I didn't talk about the Stamets actor. That the actor is Anthony Rapp. I talked about the actual scientist named Paul Stamets who works with mushrooms and the mycelial shit. There's an actual scientist that the Paul Stamets on Discovery was named after. So, there you go. I did not talk about the actor. Peter Lukaku, $5. Seen an original interview with the original Paul Stamets on Rogan. Dude's out there, eccentric for sure. Yes. How cool would a Whoopi cameo be? Would be kind of neat, actually. But not necessary, not needed, but it's fine. No, there was a lot to like in this episode, and I really enjoyed it. So, and the general consensus that I'm getting from people is that they also enjoyed it. Some people in this chat even have said, it wasn't for me. It was kind of meh, and that's fine. I just think as far as Discovery goes, like this season has been some of the best, and this episode was at the top of the best kind of list there. So I am looking forward to more like this. The next one is going to be Mirror Universe. The name of the episode is Mirrors. At the end of this episode, they found the warp signature for Mullen Locke, but it just disappeared. I have a feeling they're going to realize that they actually used that device they bought in the beginning of the episode to travel to the Mirror Universe to get the next puzzle piece. which we talked about on one of our lives last week or this week. One of our lives, speculating about things. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that as well. I think these kind of callbacks are good, and this is a good episode to have in a final season of a show. Kind of like, look at the journey we've had from season 1 to here, and the contrast between Burnham in season 1 and Burnham now is huge. So I love that they fought and battled each other, and I love that when I watched it with Sylvia, she's like, wow, she was really self-righteous in season 1. It's like, yeah, absolutely. Let's see. Speaking of holodecks and cameos, I wouldn't mind hearing from Vic Fontaine. Mr. Captain says this was a very Trek-like episode. Yes. Marco, I thought the fact Rainier put his hand into the bug shield would have had some side effects, and he may have sacrificed himself in the end. All I can think of was the Picard putting his hand into the bowl of fruit, which is different, and his nails growing in TNG. But yes. Like, why just attach it to like a stick that's made of like titanium or something like super strong? You just put that in there so you don't have to like sacrifice your hand. I know they didn't have a lot of time, but at the same time, Stamets made this device, so just attach a stick to it. It's fine. Small thing, but bring back Lorca. Yes, I was so excited when I was like, well, this is Lorca's ship. It's like, yes. Oh, he's on an away mission. Vince says, I wish this was season 1 or just wrote the entire season like this. Yes, I agree. I'm looking forward to Discovery being over, but it is better than it was. Rainier's character development is awesome. Yes, he's a fantastic character. I love him. Eric Martin is here with good evening. Sean O'Sullivan, still annoyed that was the only time we saw the back of the runabout in the back of the runabout. Yes, you see the back of the runabout in a TNG episode, but you never see the back of the runabout in a DS9 episode where they use the runabouts all the time. Odd that, but yes. I was also annoyed by that. I respected that they used Prime Picard. Well, what other Picard would they use? Again, I apologize for my pugs. I need a drink. Paul Hitchcock, the Rainier hand through the field made me wonder if it is going to be a Dumbledore situation, with his hand being wounded in such a way that it became a death sentence. Possibly. I mean, they did make a point of when he came back on the bridge to show it that's back to normal. So I don't know. I think it's going to totally be it's fixed. It's fine. Matt Bourbon says, 'tis the nature of pugs to be loud and snorty. This is true. And cute and adorable and stupid and a whole bunch of things. Vince says, I don't think we've ever seen a proper Mirror Picard or TNG for that matter. No, we haven't. I mean, in comic book form, we have. I'm currently reading the IDW Mirror Universe TNG, which is really good, actually. It would have been awesome if they had actually made a Mirror Universe TNG, but I also appreciate the restraint that they didn't. Even Voyager, we didn't get one. The closest we got was Time's Witness, where we see like a telling of the tale, but with a darker twist on the Voyager crew. So Yeah, TNG one would have been good. It would have been good, but at the same time, I also really appreciate the fact that they didn't. So it's one of those things, you know. Pugs are rarely my headphones, but it's cute. Well, you got two of them. The Chihuahua's currently not snoring, but the two pugs are. Peter the Caco, if they ain't snoring, they ain't living. Fair enough. Matt Boardman, I'm okay with less Mirror Universe, just like I'm okay with less Section 31. The more they do those novelty situations, the less novel they become. 100% correct. That's why I really appreciate the restraint that they didn't do it on Voyager, or they didn't do it on TNG. DS9, they dipped a little too much into it, but it's fine. Even though those DS9 episodes are not really enjoyable to me, the Mirror Universe DS9 stuff doesn't really work for me. So, yeah, it's fine. Vince says, oh, speaking of IDW, I got a lot of PDFs from the Humble Bumble on their stuff a few years ago, including the Planet of the Apes one. Didn't realize it was also physical. Love seeing that in your video. Thank you. I appreciate that. That reminds me, I don't think I have a short scheduled for tomorrow for my channel. I might have to put one up. But thank you. Hopefully you enjoyed Shelf by Shelf Chapter 3. Yeah, I really enjoy making those because I realize that shit, I haven't read this book in a long time and I don't really remember everything about it. I need to read this book, or this is one I've never read and I haven't gotten around to it. So yeah, I really enjoy that series, and hopefully you guys are as well. They'll keep going for a while now. I'll never stop because there's so much shit, but that's fine. Paul Hitchcock, given the edict during the first few seasons of TNG to stay away from directly referencing TOS, I wonder if any Mirror Universe ideas were killed right away. I'm sure there was at least one or two that were run through that were just like, nah, we can't do it. I'm sure. Peter Lukaku, $5. Sad to say, we will eventually see a TNG reboot if we live long enough. They just remade The Fall Guy with Ryan Gosling. Yes, and they also did remade Roadhouse, which is fucking funny as hell. It's a good movie. It's not as good as Patrick Swayze's Roadhouse, but it is good. Conor McGregor in it is hilarious. Where the fuck is everyone? It's good. And Fall Guy, I mean, fuck, man. I love the Fall Guy. Lee Majors, the truck. I got one of the toy Fall Guy trucks somewhere around here from back when I was a kid. I love the song too. Do you want me to sing the song? Do you want to hear the song? I ain't the kind to kiss and tell, but I've been seen with Farrah. I've never been with anything less than a 9. So fine. I've been on fire with Sally Fields. There's a girl named Bo. Can't recall all the words right offhand, but I do know the song. Anyway, it's a death-defying life I lead. I take my chances. Anyway, we're done. Olam Drab, I agree about Mirror Universes, etc. Also, must go. Good night, good Trek people. Good night, Olam Drab. Live long and prosper. See you later. Thanks for joining us. Trek or not, did they not say the Mirror Universe had moved too far away to be crossed? Yep, but not by the Mycelial network. Watch, it'll be a thing. Anyway, but yes, they did say that as time marched on, the divergent point got further and further apart. So Joseph says the Shattered Mirror book series is pretty good. Yes. Vince says it reminds me that people are even more obsessed about Trek than me. If I had a room, I'd try to keep up. If I had the room, I'd try to keep up. I do have that Kirk versus Gorn tin on your wall, though. It's a nice piece. Yes. That's not a tin. That's just it's a printed poster thing that's in a plastic sleeve. There was talk of a Kelvin versus TNG movie. I think it could be good. Possibly, possibly. All right. So yeah, hopefully they don't drop the ball in this season, because I remember last season the first 2 episodes were really good, and the last episode with the 10C I think was good as well, but the middle was just too strung out. Like they took a good idea, a good story idea, and just dragged it out too far. So the middle was really bad. This season so far, it was still at episode 4 and still kind of firing on all cylinders. I hope we keep the pace up, because this season has been fantastic. And yeah, I really hope that things can go this way for the entire season. It will be a shame if their final season is awesome and it's like, well, shit, that's the last one. That's kind of sad, but I have a feeling that's going to be the case. Now, keep in mind, when they went into this season, they didn't know it was going to be their last. They didn't know until like the end that it was going to be the last season. And when they were asked if they would do anything differently, they said no, they would do pretty much everything exactly the same, which means they have a good story, I believe. Especially with this episode, because, like I said, it's going back to season 1. It's kind of covering their journey during the course of the entire run, which is a nice thing to do in the last final season. So I just hope the Maul and Locke stuff doesn't screw it up, because I want to say they're obviously in love, but I have the feeling that Maul might be playing Locke a little bit and using him. I don't know. They're the big question mark in this season for me. If they can deliver on them being good, which they have sort of already kind of done, but we haven't seen enough of them. And I know the next episodes they're going to be in more. It's going to be more focused on them. We might learn a few things about them, but they are the big variable this season, and I don't know how that's going to play out. I hope it's good. I do like the characters, but I have a feeling like they're trying to go for that Book and Michael vibe, and like I said, I have a feeling at the end of the season it's going to end with Rainier getting captaincy of the Discovery and Burnham leaving Starfleet to go with Book again. So there'll be the two of them. I have a distinct feeling that might be what they're doing, and they're kind of foreshadowing it a little bit with Maul and Locke saying, "Hey, after this thing, we'll be free," and going back to Book and Culber talking. It's like, yeah, these guys are just having fun. They're free. Connection. And I think even in this episode with the whole scene in her quarters with Book, I just have this distinct feeling that they're foreshadowing that. But again, I could be wrong. Paul Hitchcock says, after Avengers, I thought Tom Hiddleston would be such a good recast for Data. Oh, sorry, Puggins. Okay. Tom Hiddleston. Yeah, he'd make a pretty good Data. Yeah. Joe Brown, based on this episode, my theory is Discovery finds the tech and destroys it. Possibly, yeah. Vince says, can't have any worse of an ending than Enterprise got. That's true. That's true. Peter Lukaku, $20. Thank you so much. Given your connection to people on the inside, what do you expect for the future of Star Trek after Disco and Lower Decks is cut? What do you wish they had down the pipeline after Strange New Worlds? Anything good. Thank you for the $20. I will have a shot for that, by the way. I don't know what they have. I don't know why they've made the decisions they made, especially with Lower Decks. There is hope that they are going to not drop the ball on that, though, because Jack Quaid tweeted that he hopes that Lower Decks gets picked up by somebody else to get more seasons. So I don't know if that was a little bit of a hint on his part that they might be shopping it around. Because if Netflix picks it up like they did with Prodigy and actually wants more seasons, they could do that 100%. So I don't know. The Lower Decks decision was stupid. Strange New Worlds, I'm glad it's getting a fourth season. I don't know how far that's going to go. I think the fourth or fifth season might be their last, though, for Strange New Worlds. I think 5 might be the new series, cap on those. But anyway, cheers. And the thing is, Strange New Worlds has a definite expiry date because there's only a certain number of years between Disco and when Kirk gets the Enterprise that they have to fill. So it's going to end. I'm telling you. I just don't know when, but I'm glad it's getting a fourth season. Kind of wish we knew when season 3 was going to air, though. I have a sneaky suspicion it's going to be next spring or early next year, because we know Lower Decks is this fall. So I don't know. Donnie says, I'm optimistic about the Section 31 movie, to be honest. I am too, but Vince says, I'd prefer they go in the direction of Legacy than Academy. Most people would say that, yes. But Academy might be really good. We don't know yet. Mark Lawrence, I'm afraid Burnham will be given the Enterprise, and it'll have the same bridge as either Disco or Enterprise G. Oh. Melanie says, Section 31, Legacy, good premises, more new Trek. Matt Boardman, funny that I think of season 5. I think at season 5, I think they're finally at enough episodes of a third season of 90s Trek. Yeah. Which makes sense. The show is finally starting to tell good stories. When you look at it that way, yes. But again, that's one of the old tropes that TNG wasn't good till season 3. There's a lot of good stuff in season 1 and 2 of TNG. So, but yes, I see what you're saying. Interesting idea. Vince says also, thanks for being an outlet for people who to talk Trek. Seems like a forgotten about IP sometimes. Means a lot. No problem. That's what I do all the time during all my lives. You can come in and talk to me about whatever. And a lot of people have said that. They're like, I don't have family or friends that are into Star Trek. I have nobody to talk Star Trek with, or my theories or my excitement for an episode. So that's why I do these hangouts. It's like you and I are sitting here after an episode, hanging around the water cooler or the Starship model, and just shooting the shit about the episode and having a drink together, just chilling. That's what this is. And that's why I like reading everybody's comments. I like everybody to be part of the community, and to have you guys feel like you got a friend in me. You got a friend in me. Anyway, but yes, thank you. I appreciate that. Kyle says, just watch the new episode. Not bad. Probably my favorite Disco episode so far. Good advice, Cap. Joe Brown, Strange New Worlds should go at least until Kirk takes command. Oh, it has to. It has to end with the handoff of the ship. Looking like the TOS Enterprise. I'm not going to do that. Vince, that's true for TV streaming as a whole. A lot of stuff is 10 episodes now, and it sucks. Fallout is only 8 episodes, and it was awesome in my opinion. Hope to get more. Yeah, I still need to check out Fallout. I'll have to watch that soon. And did you hear that For All Mankind has been renewed for season 5, which is awesome. And they're also getting a spin-off series called Star City, which talks about, it's a prequel. It's about the Russians and their landing on the moon. So I'm excited for that. I love For All Mankind. Surge says, crazy that 5 seasons with 10 episodes each is the new 7 seasons with 24 episodes each. Yeah. Sean says, in relation to Strange New Worlds, MASH went on 11 years. The war it was based on only 3. Oh, yeah, absolutely. The show lasted way longer than the war. Melanie, Lower Decks and Prodigy are also very good. Okay, Melanie, Prodigy is the best new Star Trek, hands down. Lower Decks is second. Strange New Worlds is third. Picard season 3 is mixed in there somewhere, but it's only one season because Picard as a whole was not good. And then there's Discovery. So, and I don't hate Discovery. I really don't. But, yeah. Prodigy was the best of the new Trek, hands down. The most... Prodigy and Lower Decks were the most canon respecting of these shows and actually add to the lore. Without a doubt. And what did they do? Got rid of Prodigy off the Paramount Plus network. Can't see any of episode or season 1 there at all. Netflix had to pick it up. It's available on Netflix. What did they do with Lower Decks? Oh, 5 seasons is the last one. Why? It could go for another 5 seasons, honestly. It's technically, I think, the cheapest of the shows that they're currently producing. For Star Trek, anyway, because there's no standing sets. There's not a lot of overhead. Yes, the computers, the artists, the voice actors all cost money. But as far as actual physical assets and stuff, I think Lower Decks was the cheapest. That being said, Lower Decks also brought back old cast members to reprise their roles. Like Chase Masterson did Lita, and Max did Max Godenchek, and Nana Visitor did Kira. You had Armin Shimmerman back as Quark. So, I mean, actually, Lower Decks is because it's animated as well. You don't have to worry about the actors looking older, or feeling self-conscious about looking older is perhaps a better way to say that. So, yeah, the fact that they saying that Lower Decks is the next season is the last season really pisses me off. Prodigy. No, so that's the other thing with Lower Decks. They're like, don't worry, you'll be able to watch it all on Paramount Plus. That's at least respectful. Prodigy got like the fucking boot, and it's like it's not available on our streaming services. We didn't know where we could watch it till Netflix picked it up. It's just rude, it's ignorant, and it's fucking insulting to the fan base to do that to a show like Prodigy. So, anyway, sorry, I'm gonna move on. Guest 1980. Hard to get emotional about characters we never got to know because the bridge crew were never that fleshed out. Yeah, exactly. I didn't care about the Arium thing. Joseph Cap, you have to show me the ropes in Helldivers 2. Well, just watch my live streams, man. I was there. It's like our generation's Vietnam. Some crazy shit goes on. Watch the live streams. Cal Swinderman, in other news, Saturday is official. I'm meeting Shatner and getting photos and signatures. Pretty pumped. That is awesome, Kyle. Tell him Captain Foley from Trekyards says hi. I just want to see his response. Vince says, I haven't watched For All Mankind, but I've been meaning to get around to it. Well, you must watch it. It is fantastic. I highly recommend it. It is such well-written... I was going to say TV. It's just such a well-written show. It's fantastic. Sean O'Sullivan, Fallout is fantastic. They nailed the looks, the politics, the humor. Kyle says, Fallout was renewed for Season 2 today for your information. Good to know. Peter says, is it weird that you can watch any TOS episode a million times and still enjoy it, still picking up on new things now that you think is genius? It's not weird at all. I still see new things in TOS, TNG, Deep Space Nine, Voyager. Because I've seen the episodes so many times that I stopped focusing on the main actors, the main characters, the main story plots, and I start looking in the background. I look at the little mistakes on the set, little weird things. What are background actors doing? So you're always getting new stuff out of it. 100%. I don't think it's weird at all. Kyle said, for me, ranking New Trek is Picard Season 3, Prodigy, Lower Decks, Strange New Worlds, and then Disco. Sorry, Disco fans. That's fine. I wouldn't put Picard season 3 above Prodigy though, or Lower Decks. Might put it above Strange New Worlds, but Kyle says, I will tell Shatner you say hello. Let me know how that goes. Don says, so far, Prodigy remains my number 1 current Star Trek show, with Lower Decks as my 2, Strange New World at 3, Discovery at 4, and the first 2 seasons of Picard are 5. Season 3 of Picard is my only honorable mention. Honorable mention for Picard? It's kind of a standout thing. So I get the honorable mention thing, but it should be like its own category. Like, that's TNG season 8. That's what I expected from Picard season 1, to just be a continuation of an older TNG crew. If they had done season 3 of Picard as season 1, fucking home run. Would have been great. Then you could have introduced the new characters. You could have introduced Rios. You could have introduced Girardi. You could have introduced Elnor for the season 2, and then season 3 they're the main cast, and all the TNG guys had fallen away except for maybe 1 or 2 cameos. They did it completely bass-ackwards. And yes, I said bass-ackwards. They did it completely wrong for Picard. If season 3 had been season 1, they would have had a fucking hit on their hands. Nobody would have complained. But they fucked that up, didn't they? They got it backwards. Vince says, I probably have the weirdest top 5 of most rewatched TNG episodes. The Royale, good episode, I enjoy it. The Neutral Zone, good episode. Cause and Effect, fantastic episode. The Chase, awesome, and A Matter of Time, also good. What about yesterday's Enterprise? That's like my number 1. My biggest issue with Picard season 2 was how much non-space it did. Too much back in time stuff. Budget issue, I guess. It was a budget issue because the first 2 episodes of season 2 of Picard were done by Terry Matalas. Then he went on to do season 3. I think he also did the last episode, because they were filmed back to back, season 2 and season 3. But after he did the first 2 episodes of season 2, then he went on to season 3, and yeah, the budget got shifted from, like, we need to build a fucking Enterprise D bridge. Let's take some of that budget. You go film season 2 in fucking LA, downtown LA, in alleyways and shit. You go do that. We're going to take this budget and actually recreate the bridge of the Enterprise D and do a whole bunch of other really cool shit. So that's exactly what happened. 100%. Hashtag Hail Bill. Kyle says, let's make sure history never forgets how poorly CBS managed Star Trek. Bass-ackwards? That's knucking futs. Yeah. My dad always used to say that's bass-ackwards, so it's just a thing I say now. And it is knucking futs. 100%. I hope Skydance would win the bidding war to buy Paramount, says Don. As long as the people that buy it know what to do with Trek, just put Trek in the capable hands of someone like, I don't know, Mike McMahon, Aaron Waltke, the Hagermans, Terry Matalas, people that know, understand, and are fans of Trek themselves and know what the fans want. I don't know how a merger or a buyout like that would necessarily affect, like, could they fire Alex Kurtzman? I don't know. I don't know how all that internal structure and politics works, but God, I hope so. That's all I gotta say. I just want Disney to buy Trek. Yeah. I mean, everybody says, oh, I don't want Disney because they didn't fucking ruin Star Wars, all right? You might not like everything they did with Star Wars, and I don't like The Last Jedi personally, but honestly, Ahsoka, even the Book of Boba Fett I liked, Mandalorian is fucking phenomenal, Obi-Wan Kenobi, I thought they were all good. I enjoyed the hell out of them. The Accolade coming out, I'm not super sure of based on the trailers, but try not to judge things on the trailers, right? So, but at least we have Galaxy's Edge, we got Batuu, we've got, build your own droids, build your own lightsabers, fly the Millennium Falcon, Rise of the Resistance. We got all that shit. You can go spend a day literally on a Star Wars planet in Disney. We need that for Star Trek. We have no Star Trek the Experience anymore. They done fucked that up too. So, yes, Disney, please buy Star Trek and have a Star Trek land. I don't know what you'd call it, but you couldn't. I shouldn't say that. I'm gonna say you couldn't fuck up Star Trek any more than certain people have. But that sounds like a bet that Disney would be willing to take. So I don't know. At least with Disney, you get lots of merchandising, where the real money of the film is made. Because there's so much good merchandise. I know a lot of it's the newer Star Wars stuff that Disney did, but there's also Disney's got the money to put into it, is what I'm saying. So I don't know. Everybody's so like, I hope Disney doesn't buy Star Trek, and I'm like, I kind of hope that if they did, I wouldn't be upset. Let's put it that way. So, disagree with me or not, it's fine. Disney has ruined Star Wars. No, thank you, Joe. They have not. Did they ruin your childhood too? Did they erase all the Star Wars movies you grew up with so you can't go back and rewatch them? George Lucas did that with the special editions. They didn't ruin your childhood. It's still there. You can still enjoy it. Dustin D, how about Alex Kurtzman over to work at Lucasfilm? There you go. Sean O'Sullivan, I don't like Kurtzman. He's coarse and rough and irritating, and he gets everywhere. Donnie says, speaking of Star Wars, I still plan to catch up on the final season of The Bad Batch, yet I'm skipping The Acolyte. Oh, okay. Cal Swinderman, I do wonder how Kurtzman has been able to be in control of Trek for so long. Just goes to show you how you can ride one success in Hollywood for a long time. Yep, nepotism is a wonderful thing. Joe Brown, okay, Mandalorian and Boba Fett are exceptions. Vince's Variety Channel. Lucas in the 90s tried to reinvent the wheel with updates to the original trilogy, then the prequels. At least Disney tried. Don says, I thought Fett was okay Disney Star Wars show for me, to be honest. Yet, I love the first 2 seasons of Mando more than the third one. Sean says, I was hoping Universal would buy Trek as they have the theme parks to make a Starbase 1 or Deep Space Nine or something. Yeah. Bad Batch has been great. I hope Skydance' acquisition of Paramount does include Star Trek, yet I can imagine the next Star Trek series to be the first since the animated series to air on NBC, and to be the next CBS studio production for NBC as well. Cal Swinderman, on the merch stuff, the XO6 and few other small things, I feel like we're lacking a great merch for Trek. It's sad me. We're missing immensely so. You know, in the 90s with Playmates, they had every fucking figure, every character, every action figure of every fucking side character on DS9. You could buy that shit. You could buy tricorders, you could buy phasers, you could buy ships, all from Playmates. You had video games. You had so much cool shit back in the 90s. What have they done lately? Fuck all. Yes, Playmates got the license back. They produced some Prodigy figures. They made a few other figures, TNG callback ones. You got the Monster Maroon, Kirk and Spock, and then Wrath of Khan. So there's a few things, but we are totally missing merchandise. I would buy Discovery shit. I would buy a Discovery phaser. I would buy a Discovery tricorder. I would buy a Discovery communicator. I would buy a Strange New Worlds tricorder, communicator, and phaser. I would buy a Protostar. I want a USS Protostar toy, Playmates. That'd be awesome. Yes, please. I would buy that. I would buy Discovery stuff as well. Figures. I'd buy a Tilly action figure. They have Saru, but I would want, a good Saru figure. That's the same scale. I would buy a Lorca figure. I would buy a Stamets figure. I would buy these figures. They don't have them. The only ones you can get are like Mego and Playmates. And they only make Saru and Burnham. That's it. Not interested in either one of them. if I'm honest. McFarlane Toys also did a Burnham. I don't know if they did a Saru. I think they might have done. But McFarlane Toys, there's a McFarlane Toys TOS Kirk up there. There's also a McFarlane Toys Picard, like TNG Picard. So, yes, we're severely lacking merch. And that's a big problem, in my opinion. So, anyway, my throat's getting a little dry. Could you imagine a theme park with the theme being set on DS9 with holodecks for each show, shops, actors walking in costumes for each show? A guy can dream. Well, we used to have that here in Canada, like in Toronto. There's the Canada's Wonderland, which used to be a Paramount Park, and they had a Star Trek shop. I bought a lot of stuff in that Star Trek shop. They had actors walking around in Monster Maroons. They had actors walking around dressed as movie era Klingons, Ferengi, walking around the park. It was awesome. But no longer a Paramount Park. So that all went away. We have STO, which is now basically in maintenance mode with Decca. Skydance has never produced a TV show for NBC before, though. Vince says I have a Saru Funko. I can't stand Funko Pops. I mean, Sylvia has a few, and I have like... I can't think of one that I have. I've got like the original Lion Voltron in Funko form, but I can't stand Funko Pops. Discovery phasers are special. They shoot straight, even if you hold them backwards. It's true. Cal Slenderman, I did see that they are doing a high-end Strange New Worlds phaser, but it will probably be $500 or more. Yeah. Wah, wah. Donnie says, I don't mind Star Trek returning to Universal Studios theme parks for the first time in 3 decades, though. Paul Hitchcock says, merch-wise, I'm excited to see what the new WizKids Star Trek's Into the Unknown game does. Supposedly, they're working to make a game miniature in scale with another, which has me excited. Donnie says, I update my Star Trek petition. It's on the Change website and a search away. Go sign his petition. Vince says I had 80 Funkos. It's about 10 now. Sold most of them. Donnie says, hashtag go Voltron Force. I love the first Discovery phasers combined elements of the Cage ones and the TOS ones. Yes, and they were actually a nice design. I really like them. So I would love to have those. But anyways, I think this conversation's run its course. In summary, this episode is a good episode. So season 5, episode 4, Face the Strange. It's I love the time travel aspects of it. I love the Rainier interactions with everybody. Stamets gets a chance to shine again. Jet Reno, fantastic. Burnham, fighting Burnham, like going back to their season 1 roots and seeing that contrast was really cool, I think. Shout out to the Krenim and their chronophage or time bug. There's a lot in this episode that is fun. So like I said, please join us tomorrow in the afternoon for our edited review of this, and also tomorrow afternoon at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Check out our complete live review and breakdown where we look at it scene by scene and talk about it and discuss. And I'm sure there's going to be lots to talk about. So anyway, I'm going to call it a wrap for tonight. But I'd like to thank you all for joining me. I really appreciate you guys. My mouth is getting dry. I'm getting tired. And I need to probably go to bed. Will I do some hell diving? I don't know. It's pretty late. Probably not tonight. But anyway, thank you for joining me. Tune in tomorrow. You know the routine. And until then, I'm Captain Foley signing off. Have yourselves a great night, everybody. I'll see you soon. Bye, guys.